Good evening, dear students. Today we will try to solve differential equations using Laplace transform. But before entering into the topic in depth, we will see few formulas which we will require very frequently, right? I think in the previous class or the second last class I had given you a list of formula which were very important in case of inverse while finding inverse Laplace transform. So we will add few more formulas to that list, right? Okay. Now, why do we require more formulas? The reason is we have encountered the Laplace transfer, the inverse Laplace transform of forms like a square plus a square, or inverse Laplace transform of these are known forms, and therefore we can very easily write the inverse Laplace transform when we encounter forms like this. But as we will try to solve differential equations, we will encounter forms like this: a square plus a square whole square, or maybe a constant divided by. Now these forms are very common forms, right? But the inverse Laplace transform is unknown to us. So we will try to formalize these forms so that while solving the differential equations, it becomes easier, right? Okay. So first, we have already seen in our previous class that Laplace transform of ft by t is equal to s to infinite Laplace transform of the function ds, right? That is, Laplace transform of a function divided by time is equal to the integral of the Laplace transform of the function within the limits s to infinite. So if we invert this immediately gives us inverse Laplace transform of s to infinity fs ds, where fs is Laplace transform ft, is equal to ft by t, or this ft is nothing but the inverse Laplace of fs. Therefore inverse Laplace of fs is equal to t inverse Laplace of s to infinite fs ds. Now this is a very important formula. If you look at it carefully, if you do not know the inverse Laplace transform of the given function, but if you know the inverse Laplace of the integral of the function, that is enough, right? That means if we know the inverse Laplace of the integral of any function, we can automatically find the inverse Laplace of that function. So to understand it better, let's do an example. Say for example, find the inverse Laplace of 2s divided by s square plus 1 to the power 2, right? Now, like you can see, this form s divided by s square plus 1 whole square is unknown to us, right? But by looking at the formula, by looking at the equation, we can understand the integral might be known to us, because if we integrated this power 2 will vanish, right? So we will apply this formula: inverse Laplace of a function of s, that is fs, is equal to t into inverse Laplace of integral of the function s square plus 1 whole square ds, right? So if you integrate this, you immediately get 1 divided by s square plus 1, right, in the limits s to infinite. When you put infinite, it vanishes, so you are left out with 1 divided by s square plus 1, and inverse Laplace of 1 divided by s square plus 1. This form is known to us, and it is nothing but sine t, right? So you can see how beautifully this formula comes into use when the integral of the function is known to us, right? Okay, so this was the first formula. This is a general formula. Now we'll move on to few specific formulas. Let's try, like we all know that Laplace transform of t sine at is equal, we have to use this formula, okay? Laplace transform of t sine at, we'll find this. We all know Laplace transform of sine at is equal to a divided by a square plus a square, right? This is known to us. Now we want to find the Laplace transform of t sine at. If we want to find that, this is known to you all. It is nothing but minus d ds of a divided by a square plus a square, because Laplace transform of t ft is equal to minus d ds fs, right? So this turns out to be, if you differentiate, it turns out to be the minus sign goes away, 2as divided by a square plus a square and a whole square, right? So Laplace transform of t sine at is equal to 2as divided by a square plus a square whole square. Immediately this gives you inverse Laplace of s divided by a square plus a square whole square is equal to t sine at divided by 2a. It is a very important formula. See, we did not even require any new formula, but if you can sort of memorize this as a formula, because inverse Laplace, if you encounter forms like this where you have s in the numerator and s square plus a square its whole square in the denominator, you immediately know the inverse Laplace is t sine at by 2a. Now why I am giving these as formula is, when you will try to solve differential equations, these kind of terms will be you will encounter numerous these kind of terms in a single differential equation. So at that time you can take this as a formula. You need not solve the entire you need not solve all the terms in details, right? What I am trying to say will be very clear to you within few minutes. Okay. So in the same way you can find out that inverse Laplace of a square minus a square, just a second, sorry, divided by a square plus a square its whole square gives you t cos at. In exactly similar manner you can find out this. Even this is an important formula. Here the form is a squared in the numerator, okay? The third important formula is inverse Laplace of, if you have a constant in the numerator and the denominator is a square plus a square whole square, that turns out to be 1 by 2a cube sine at minus at cos at. This is a homework, do it. These are very easy equations, but these forms should be memorized by you all, okay, because we will encounter these very frequently. Okay, so since now we are ready with all our formulas, let's move on to solution of differential equations by Laplace transform. Okay, solution of differential equations using Laplace transform. Okay, okay, so let the question be, we have to solve this differential equation. Plus 25y is equal to 10 cos 5t, given the initial conditions are y0 is equal to 2 and y prime 0 is equal to 0. Right, we are asked to solve this differential equation using Laplace transform. I hope you all remember that in the initial classes we are told that we use this transforms to move we use this transform to solve equations in solves problems which are quite different and which are quite tough in their original space, but on using these transform they turn out to be quite simple. Okay, so that is what we will see now, how Laplace transform helps us to solve differential equations really easily. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's see. Whenever you are given a differential equation and if you want to solve it using Laplace transform, what we do is we do the Laplace transform of the entire differential equation, right? So we want to take the Laplace transform of this entire equation. First let's consider, let Laplace transform of y is equal to y bar. Okay, this is the notation that we will be using. So if we want to do the Laplace transform of this equation, we have first this term d2y dt2. So over here we get s square y bar minus a s y0 minus a y prime 0, right? Plus 25 is a constant. Laplace transform of y is y bar, gives me 10 is a constant, comes out. Laplace transform of cos 5t is equal to s divided by s square plus 5 square, that is 25. Okay, now this formula we have already we get this from the formula that we had already proved in their previous classes, but still I'm writing it for you. Laplace transform of the nth derivative of a function is given by s to the power n Laplace transform of the function minus s to the power n minus 1 f0 minus s to the power n minus 2 f prime 0, and this continues to minus f to the power n minus 1 0, right? We had already proved this in our previous classes, so we have just used this formula in the equation, right? So now we will put the values, that is the initial conditions, and so we get we take y bar common, s square plus 5 square is equal to 10s divided by s square plus 5 square, and all these terms come to the right hand side. So we have plus this y0 is 2, so 2s, and y prime is 0, so that automatically vanishes. So we are left out with this after putting our initial condition y0 is equal to 2, y prime 0 is equal to 0, right? Or y bar is equal to 10s divided by s square plus 5 square whole square plus 2s divided by s square plus 5 square. Now you can see why we had derived the formula like we did few minutes back, because in differential equations we will get these kind of numerous terms, and it is not maybe possible to solve each term specifically if you do not, it will be quite tough if you do not know the previous formula, because see the form, it is s divided by s square plus a square whole square. This was unknown to us till today, but now we know this is nothing but the inverse Laplace of t sine at by 2a, right? So we want to find the solution of y, so we have to invert the entire thing. So now we have to do the take the inverse Laplace transform of this equation, right? So taking inverse Laplace transform of the equation, we get, so taking inverse Laplace of y bar gives me y is equal to inverse Laplace of s divided by s square plus a square whole square. This is the form we have just derived, and it is t sine at form. So we have that is t sine 5t divided by 2 into a means 5 plus 2s plus s square plus a square. This is nothing but cos 80 form, that means 5 cos 5t, or y is equal to t sine 5t, this gets cancelled, plus 2 cos 5t, and this is the final answer. So you can see how easy it becomes only you need to know the transformations. The process is, first we do the Laplace transform of the equation, and then we do the inverse Laplace transform of the equation, and very easily we can solve that entire differential equation, right? Okay. Now we will move on to a very important example, that is the harmonic oscillator in a resistive medium. This is very important, at least with respect to your course. Okay, sorry. Now, since we are considering the harmonic oscillator in a resistive medium, our differential equation will be of the form m d2x dt2 is equal to, in case of harmonic oscillator, we'll have a restoring force, right? So let that be minus sx. Then we have the resistive force due to friction. Let that be denoted by k dx dt. We know it is proportional to the velocity of the oscillator. And let us consider an external force which is driving it, which is a function of t, right? So this is the restoring force term, this is a resistive force due to the medium, and this is nothing but we are considering an external force, right? Okay, so let the initial condition be, let xt is equal to a and x prime t is equal to u at t is equal to 0. These are our initial conditions, and we are asked to solve this differential equation. Okay, so this is a very known equation. If we try to give it a formal look, we are going to write it as d2x dt2 plus 2b dx dt plus omega square x is equal to ft, where 2b is nothing but k by 2m, right? And omega square is given by s by m, and f is a constant which is given by a by m, right? So now this equation is very much known to us, and we are going to solve it using Laplace transform, and you will see how simple it is. Okay, so like we have said just now, that to solve it, first we will take the Laplace transform of this equation, right? So taking the Laplace transform of this equation, we get s square x bar, where x bar is nothing but the Laplace transform of x, right? Minus s x prime 0 minus s x 0 minus x prime 0. I'll write it again. Okay, plus a 2b. Over here you have the first derivative, so you get s x bar minus a x 0, right? Plus omega square, Laplace transform of x is x bar, is equal to f, and let the Laplace transform of ft be fs, f bar s, right? So where we have considered that Laplace transform of x is equal to x bar s, and Laplace transform of ft is equal to f bar s. Okay, so I would like to write it again in a clear way. So x bar x minus s x 0 minus x bar 0 plus 2b is x bar minus x 0 plus omega square x bar is equal to f. I have written the same equation just in a clear way, okay, because here I had made a mistake. Okay, so or now if we put the initial values, we get, okay, we take the x bar common and we will write it in the denominator, right? Okay, we take the x bar common. Over here we have s square plus 2bs plus omega square, right? And the other terms are, we take it on the right hand side, and we have f bar s, and this term comes this side, and you have this x bar 0 gives you a u plus a s, we get a s over here, and a 2b over here, right? we have put the initial conditions, and this is the equation that we get. Or x bar is equal to, we can write this equation as s square plus 2sb plus b square plus omega square minus b square, right? So this is nothing but the s plus b whole square form. Okay, over here we have f bar s plus u plus a s plus 2b is equal to s plus b whole square plus omega square minus b square, and we have f prime s plus u plus, see, this is over here we have s plus 2b and over here we have s plus b, so we will distribute the b among u and s, so this becomes u plus ab plus a s plus b. Okay, we have written this form because in the denominator we have this s plus b form. Okay, so x bar is equal to a s plus b divided by s plus b. Now we are just dividing it into separate terms, n square, where n square is nothing but omega square minus b square plus u plus ab divided by s square plus b, sorry, s plus b whole square plus n square plus f bar s divided by s plus b whole square plus n square, where n square is equal to omega square minus b square, right? So this is the equation. This is the algebraic equation that we have got on applying Laplace transform to the differential equation. So now our job is just to invert this equation and we will get the solution, right? Now, in case of damped harmonic oscillator, you all know that we can have three cases of small damping, critical damping and large damping. So we will encounter all the three cases separately, right? So the first case is when b is less than omega. B is the damping factor, so this is the case of small damping, right? Small damping. So we have n square is equal to omega square minus b square, and since b is less than omega, this is our positive, this n square is positive, right? Okay, just now we had derived this equation. Still I'm writing it again since it is a new page. It's equal to a s plus b divided by s plus b whole square plus n square plus u plus ab s plus b whole square plus n square plus f bar s divided by s plus b whole square plus n square, right? So now to get the solution of x, we will take the inverse Laplace transform of the entire equation. So taking the inverse Laplace transform of this equation, we get inverse Laplace of x bar is x, that means xt is equal to, now this form is nothing but e to the power minus bt cos nt form, right? So on taking the inverse Laplace of this first term, we get a e to the power minus bt cos nt. This u plus ab is constant, it comes out, and the inverse Laplace of this is of sine form. So we have u plus ab divided by n e to the power minus bt sine nt plus the f is the constant. Now over here we have two functions of s. We can separate in two functions. One is f bar s and the other is 1 divided by s plus b whole square plus n square. So we can write this inverse of this function using convolution theorem, right? That is, inverse Laplace of two Laplace transform is nothing but the convolution of the original functions, right? So this can be written as the convolution of this function, that is f t minus tau, and the inverse Laplace of this function, which is the sine nt e to the power minus bt sine nt form, right? So we have e to the power minus b tau by sine n tau but in sine we would have a n in the numerator, so we divide it by n d tau. Right. I hope this is clear. This is nothing but we have just applied convolution, that is we have taken this as just to inverse Laplace of what we have done. I am just elaborating that step, whole square plus n square. So we have this function and this function, and using Laplace in convolution theorem we know this is nothing but the convolution of ft and e to the power minus bt sine n t by n, right? So this is what we have applied just now. This is a convolution of these two functions. Okay, so this is our final answer. See, just by applying inverse Laplace to the previous equation, we have got the equation of motion of our harmonic oscillator in small damping case, right? Now this is the general form of the equation. The original solution can only be obtained if we know the exact functional form of the driving force. Okay, this is the most arbitrary general solution. The original solution will depend on the kind of external force that we have applied when we will put it in this equation, this term, right? So now case 2 is critical damping condition when B is equal to omega. This is called the critical damping condition. Critical damping. So in this case, like you can see, n square is equal to omega square minus b square is equal to 0. So we will just put this in the equation of, that is in the master equation 1. So if we put that, what we get is x bar s is equal to a divided by s plus b sorry, plus u plus ab divided by s plus b whole square plus f bar s divided by s plus b whole square, right? So now all we need to do is invert this equation. So taking inverse Laplace transform of this entire equation, what we get is xt is equal to, this is 1 divided by s plus b form, so it is the inverse Laplace of this is e to the power minus bt, right? So a e to the power minus bt plus u plus ab is the constant. Now over here we have 1 plus s plus b whole square. Just in the beginning of the class we have seen the inverse Laplace of integral of the function. You just need to apply that, and if you apply it in the immediate second step, you will get this nothing but the inverse Laplace of t e to the power minus bt. Just apply the integral formula, right? And over here we are again going to apply convolution theorem. This f comes out. These are two functions of f s, so these are nothing but the convolution of the transforms, so inverse transforms. So f t minus tau, and this is tau e to the power minus b tau d tau, right? So this is the equation of motion in case of critical damping. Now we have a third case where b is greater than omega. It is the large damping case. So in that case, n square is equal to omega square minus b square is obviously negative, so we write it as b square minus omega square is equal to minus n square, where n square is now positive, right? Sorry, m square, we give it the name m. Okay, m is b square minus omega square. So now equation 1 can be reframed like this: x bar s is equal to a s plus b divided by s plus b whole square minus m square plus u plus ab divided by s plus b whole square minus m square plus f bar s divided by s plus b whole square minus m square, right? So the only difference is this plus n square gets changed into minus m square. That's it. So now again you take the inverse Laplace transform of this equation, and what we get is xt is equal to, the inverse Laplace of this is a, see we have a minus in the denominator, So it becomes the case of cos hyperbolic e to the power minus bt cos hyperbolic mt, right? E to the power minus bt because it is shifted, and since we have a minus, it becomes hyperbolic, right? So e to the power minus bt cos hyperbolic mt. Okay, plus you have u plus ab by m because it is a case of sine hyperbolic mt, plus again we are going to write this in terms of convolution. So we have f divided by m 0 to t f t minus tau, and this is the e to the power minus b tau sine hyperbolic m tau d tau. So this is the solution of our equation when our damping is greater than omega, right? This was all for your Laplace transform. Okay, now we are here. Very important homework is each and everyone should do. You will do the same calculation for harmonic oscillator in resistive medium with considering the external drive to be 0, right? That is harmonic oscillator in a resistive medium where the external driving force is 0. Do it separately. Do not put just the f0 in this equation. Do it in a separate place, and also sketch the motion of the oscillator in each case, that is b greater than omega, b equal to omega, and b less than omega. So your homework is to find out to solve the differential equation of harmonic oscillator in a resistive medium where the external driving force is 0, and sketch the motion of the oscillator for all the 3 cases. Okay, so with this we come to the end of Laplace transform. Very soon I will be giving you an assignment, and in the next class we will be starting linear vector spaces. Thank you.